All right, it's time to talk golf. That's right. Tee off with Jan Stevenson. Also, you can catch snippets on Prime Sports Network's YouTube channel.
From an odds perspective, 8 of the last 9 winners here have been between 13 and 55 to 1. The only long shot that's won here was Scott Stallings back in 2014. He was 250 to 1 for that one.
Yep.
But otherwise, it's been guys, in that high end to mid range. So I think, I know we've had the 3 long shots the past 3 weeks. I wouldn't go chasing that week. I think you want most of your money to be on, guys, 60, 70 to 1 and lower.
All right. So again, as far as the top 4, the other 2, Homa, the defending champ, and you got to remind everybody when they're on the West Coast, that's when you pay attention to Max Homa.
Yep.
He has, even though he has 3 top 20s in his 7 appearances, he missed the cut in his first 3. A prime example. You have to have time here. Since then, he's had 3 top 20s in his last 4, 2 top 10s, and then the win last year. He has made 10 straight cuts worldwide, with all in the top 25, 5 top 10s, and he got the win on the DP Tour not too long ago. Coming off a 14th at the Century. That's the last time he's played. He's only played once here. Actually, once this year. Morikawa, 3rd last year here in his 2nd appearance. Both top 25, so that's good. And he is playing really strong golf. In his last 4, he's been in the top 7 in all 4. 5th at the Century, winning the Zozo. So he is sort of like Homa. Hasn't played a whole lot yet, but they're ready to play a lot of golf. So, Morikawa is actually going to be my top pick. And because he's so low, though, at 11 to 1, I'm not going to put a lot of money. Basically, just going to put money on him that if he wins, I'm going to try to break even at this point after 3 weeks. That's pretty much the strategy. Because, it is kind of hard to, no matter what you think, it's just when you got those 4 guys, it's just really hard to try to just pick one out and expect that you got 25% chance, really, is the way you're looking at it. So, but anyway, I think Morikawa is the way to go out of those 4. I would go Morikawa, Homa, Schauffele, and Cantlay.
I would go Homa, Morikawa, Schauffele, Cantlay. And Morikawa's been excellent here. Again, if he's going to win, he's not going to do it the bomber way, right? He's going to do it by the elite accuracy, hitting fairways. That's how he's going to do it. But that's what he's done the past couple of years. He's been good here, as you've said. I would lean Homa, though, just, California guy. We've talked about it. He's the best POA putter. This is the first tournament of the season where I'm pure, West Coast POA greens. Homa's the best POA putter in this field. He's the 3rd best in this field on difficult courses. This is just the exact type of place that you want to play Max Homa. Unfortunately, I think, that's baked into his odds. I think he was, 20 or 25 to 1 last year when he won. He's, half of that this year.
He is right now 4th, though, odds-wise, out of the 4, which I'm a little bit surprised, but that's the good thing. Yep. You're still getting the best number out of the 4. Okay. You mentioned Aubert at 20 to 1, Minwoo Lee at 20 to 1, but we're just going to scratch those guys out. It's going to be very hard for them to win in their first.
Yeah, I mean they're both excellent course fits because they both hit the ball a mile. So I would not be surprised if they play really well this week. Sure. Just the fact they've never played here, and the fact that they're I don't think they're great values at the odds they're at right now. Puts me. I considered Aubert. He was one of the last guys off my list, but again, just the fact that he hasn't played here kind of crossed him off for me.
All right. And then we're in the range of the 20s, and I actually have I'm going to post up our picks so everybody can see them. So these are the picks. So you get Jared, of course. He has his 6. We both have 6 picks this week. And looks like I didn't update Morikawa's odds correctly, so you can scratch off the 25. It should say 11 to 1 on Morikawa.
I wish it was 25.
What's that?
So I wish he was 25.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then yeah. So, nobody could hear Jared, by the way, when I was on the other side. He was wishing that they were 25, and I agree. But okay. Im is somebody that I have in my picks at 22 to 1. He has a really nice history line here. he has improved his result every time he's been here in 5 appearances, from 52nd all the way through to 4th last year, 6th the year before that. He's made 8 straight cuts, all top 25s worldwide, 4 top 10s, couple top 5s. His runner-up was in Korea, so keep that in mind. Remember, he's still looking for a win. He hasn't had one in a couple of years, so that's the thing. That is just that's the thing, because M's always going to be around 20-25 to 1 every week, and you're still banking on a guy that hasn't won in a few years. So it's a tricky proposition. He's a one and done possibility for me, but yeah, I think he's got to be a strong play this week.
Yeah, so my final decision on my betting card was whether to play Obear or Sungjae at this, 20 to 22 range, or to play like 2 or 3 of these guys more in the 50 to 60 range. And
Okay.
for the final card, I went with the 2-pack of the longer shots. But Sungjae, and I even do prefer Sungjae over Obear the more I've looked at it. Just the fact that Sungjae has played here 4 times, as you said, he's been really good the past 2. The one thing that worries me with Sungjae is that he's been really good the last 2 years here because the putter has been awesome. That's kind of what's carried him. Now he is an excellent putter, and he's a good POA putter, so that could definitely continue. Not that the ball striking has been bad, especially last year. He gained 7 strokes on approach here last year, which is elite. So I definitely like Sungjae. Again, he was someone I strongly considered betting if you can get him at 20 or 22 to 1.
And then you have Tony Finau is also at 22 to 1. Jason Day is right around 25 to 1. And I know Jan, she gave me her top 3 one and done. She hasn't decided which way she's going though. But Finau, Morikawa are 2 of them. And Finau is really good historically on this golf course. He's made 8 out of 9 cuts, and they're all top 25s, including 2 top 5s and a runner-up. 5 of those are top 10s. The only thing is he's not on top of his game. He only has 1 top 5s, and that was at the Hero since his win in Mexico. That's the thing I'd be concerned with, but horse for course, he's definitely that type of guy there. And Jason Day, I mean, he's won twice. He has 5 top 5s out of 8 of his top 25s in 14 appearances. And what I liked also is that even though he hasn't been on top of his game the last few years, his last 2 appearances were 7th and 3rd. So he just really likes playing here, and he's a dangerous player. But yeah, he was a finalist for me. He was one of my last cuts out as far as a pick, and even somebody I was considering for one and done, but he's probably just not going to make the list. But I would take Day over Finau. I don't know. There's something about Finau's game that I need to see a little bit more, good play on, especially on some of these tougher golf courses.
Yeah, so this is the range I'm looking in for one and done, and it is for me Sungjae, Finau, and Day that I'm considering for one and done. Day's just been excellent on the West Coast for a while now, so I'm kind of deciding: do I want to play Day this week, or do I want to play him next week at Pebble, where he's also been awesome? Now Pebble next week is an elevated event, so Pebble next week has the big prize pool, $20 million total prize pool. This week's just $9 million. So
true.
I'm trying to decide if I want to use Day at an elevated event, or if I want to use, a higher caliber player. But again, I think all 3 of these guys are in play. I'm with you on Finau. He's not playing well enough lately for me to bet him, but like his course history here is awesome. It makes sense. This is the kind of course, a long, hard golf course that you want to play Tony Finau on. So I might end up going with Finau for one and done, because I'm definitely not going to bet him at 25 to 1.
All right. Now I'm already taking a look. I'll tell you what, let me see here. I think I could pop this on the screen. I haven't done this in a while, too. Yeah, let me... All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pop this on the screen for the viewers, and here they are. Okay, so here the committed list of pros for the Pebble Beach. And this is important, obviously, because we don't get a big field like this, but... just running through the names again. Obviously, Aubert, On, Bradley, Burns, Cantlay, Wyndham Clark, Jason Day, Harris Inglis, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Tommy Fleetwood, Ricky Fowler, Brian Harmon, Terrell Hatton, Homa, Hovland, Matsuyama, McCarthy, McIlroy is playing. Morikawa, Poston, Rose, Schauffele, Scheffler, Scott, Spieth. I don't see Thomas.
You know what?
Thigala.
You know what? Thomas is not in the signature events right now. He hasn't qualified.
Oh, is that the reason?
Yeah. So I don't
Interesting.
know if he'll get a. I don't know if they do special invites, but I think as of now he's not qualified for the elevated events.
So how do some of these other guys qualify when they got old? They're not as good as him.
I don't know the exact criteria. I just heard
Okay,
during
that's what they said.
the
Okay.
tournament last week that he had not qualified yet.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see. You would
But yeah, I
think,
mean
though.
it's
Yeah,
he,
you would.
he might end up getting an
It-
invite.
Yeah, because you would think. I mean, obviously, they could still. Because maybe it's. Look, it's possible now that he's not playing this week because he withdrew this week. Maybe he is playing next week. Maybe this just hasn't been updated yet. But those are just again that's we never see this at Pebble, never.
Right.
So it's almost like a major now. That's what we're looking at, and it's not a major course. So now you get the major field with a regular course, which would make it even more interesting. All right, so yeah, so there you go. That's why it is going to be difficult to think about. Well, do I take Day like in a normal year? Oh, I jump all over Jason Day on that, in that field at Pebble.
Right.
But now you're putting 15 more, big time players at Pebble, and it ain't going to be so easy for Jason Day like it normally would. So,
Exactly.
all right. Now your top pick is Thigala. He's 30-1. He's the only player you have under 60-1. That's Thigala at 30-1. And Thigala almost made my list too. Matter of fact, he's in my top 3 in one and done. So you have Day Finau, Jan has Matsuyama Morikawa Finau, and I have Bradley Thigala. So those are our top 3 each for one and done. So Thigala, talk about why you like him.
Yeah, California guy, went to school at Pepperdine, so obviously familiar with this course, familiar with POA greens, which again I think is big this week. Sahith is 17th best in this field, putting on POA greens. Obviously had the second place at Century 2 starts back. He won in the fall, right? He won.
Yep.
He won in the
his
fall.
first
So
event.
he's obviously playing well. Did miss the cut at the Sony, but I looked at that performance. The ball striking was fine. It was a poor putting performance for Sahith, so I'm not worried about that. Look at the last 12 months, kind of the stuff you want for this golf course. Sahith is 5th best, again, on those long par 4s. He's 39th in this field in driving distance. He's 6th in this field in strokes gained around the green, which is important. These are smallish greens. A lot of times you're hitting long irons in these greens. You're going to miss greens. You're going to have to be good scrambling, good around the green. Sahith is that. And he's played well here. He was 25th on his debut here back in 2022. He was 4th last year. He was also 4th tee to green last year, so hit it really well. Was right there in the mix. I think it's definitely a spot where Sahith can win.
And we've mentioned this before. We don't care about what Thigala, what kind of form he's coming in on, because it doesn't matter. He's still an inconsistent player. So yes, he missed the cut at the Sony. Doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. He had a very good showing, which was the runner-up at the Century, and that just shows you. He goes from runner-up at Century to missing the cut. So it's just the way he is right now. He's not a finished product, but in this field, he's definitely right around that range you were talking about. That makes a lot of sense, especially after his excellent 2 appearances here. And also at 30-1, my second pick, my best money pick, though, is going to be Keegan Bradley. And I think Bradley also has that. I think he's everything that I'm looking for regarding. He's got the major pedigree as well. 7 top 25s and 12 appearances, 3 top 5s. So nothing great, but good enough, including the fact that you got the combination of runner-up here last year, runner-up in his last appearance 2 weeks ago. That's a really good combination. And of course, he won the Travelers not too long ago. So the putting has gotten better, and that's the reason why he's starting to now put himself in position more on a weekly basis. It's not as terrible as it once was. So I don't know how good it can be, but as long as it's improved a little bit, then that's what gives him a shot. Anyway, I think he's a good. I think he's a really good play this week.
Yeah, I think Keegan makes all the sense in the world for all the reasons you mentioned. As far as the putting goes, he has putted well here. He's gained strokes putting in 4 of his last 6 times
Wow.
at this
Okay.
event. One of the other times he lost just 0.9 strokes, so he's basically field average as far as putting goes. So something about these greens, Keegan seems to have figured out.
All right. Next up, odds wise, would be 2 of my players at 45 to 1, Sepp Straka and Harris English. So I'm not a Straka guy. Jared takes Straka more than I do, but I think this is a good week to take him. Now he doesn't have any top 10s, but in 4 appearances he does have 2 top 20s. So and he's 45 to 1, 50 to 1, and plus in his last 10 appearances, his last 10 events, 7 top 25s. He also has a win. That was the John Deere. 5 of those are top 10s, and 2 of those are runner-ups. So in his last 10 golf events, he has 2 runner-ups and a win. He's never been this hot before. He's never been a consistent player, but he's turning into one now, which is why he's the 17th ranked player in the world. And he was runner-up at Hero not too long ago, 12th at the Century. So yeah, I think the odds-wise, I could see Straka being a good long shot play. And then the other long shot play for me is Harris English, who's also been playing well lately in his last 4 events. All of them are top 30s. 3 of them are top 15s. He's coming off a 10th at the Sony. He was runner-up here in 2015 in his playoff loss to Jason Day. That was one of 3 top 15s in 10 appearances here.
Wasn't English also in the mix in the U.S. Open they had here? Was that 2021?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, 2021 he came 3rd at the U.S. Open here.
Even better. Thank you.
So the course history is good. Like you said, he's playing well. He's an excellent putter. He's an excellent POA putter. I think I like the Straka play a bit more than English, though. Straka's just a good fit for this course. I think he's plenty long. He's just an excellent driver. He's a good long iron player. POA is his best putting surface. He's actually 25th in this field putting on POA. My only concern with Straka is just so far in his career, he's been better at easy golf courses, the birdie fests like we saw him win last year. But again, I think course fit wise, this should be a good spot for him.
All right, now let's go to some of your picks, including Hideki Matsuyama. So again, Jan has Matsuyama as a possible one and done. You have Matsuyama as one of your picks. He is getting 60 to 1, which is a big number. He has 4 top 20s in 10 appearances with 2 top 10s and 1 top 5.
Yeah, Matsuyama and my next bet, Justin Rose, were kind of largely just value bets. I just think the numbers are too big on.
I can't believe Rose went from 45 to 1 on Monday. It's Tuesday morning. He's 80 to 1.
Yeah, and I saw 90 to 1 this morning too.
Is something we don't know?
People I think people aren't betting him. The books want some action on him, so they're making his number bigger. I'll take it. Yeah, Hideki, I wish he was playing a bit better coming in, but I also think the birdie fest type courses we've been on the past few weeks aren't exactly where you want to play him. Not that he can't win those. We saw him win the Sony, but I like Hideki better on tough golf courses. He is 11th best in this field on difficult courses over the past couple of years. He's 7th in course history here over the last 5 years. That includes 7 straight made cuts at the Farmers. He did have a 3rd place back in 2019. He came in 9th here last year. And again, he does a lot of the things I want to see on this course. My concern would be the driving has not been great lately. He's 49th in strokes gain off the tee over the last 12 months, but he's 8th best in strokes gain approach. He's 8th best around the green, and he's also 8th best on those long par 4s. So I think 60 to 1 is too big of a number for Hideki here.
Yeah, and Jan likes him for some reason. So, and one and done. And you don't have to. Yep. I mean, taking players who are currently where Hideki is in your one and done is you don't have to. I mean, there's only 35 picks we get a year in one and done, 30.
Right.
Something.
Yep.
So she must really like him for some reason. And then Rose, like you said, he has 7 top 25s and 13 appearances.
Yep.
In his last 6, 5 top 20s, 4 top 10s, 2 top 5s, and a win. And you're getting 80
same
to
deal.
1.
Yeah, Rose is 3rd in course history over the past 5 years. He's 14th best in this field on difficult golf courses. Over the last 12 months, he's 22nd best on approach. He's 14th the best strokes gained around the green. He's 22nd on those long par four. So again, he's not a big hitter, but yeah, he finds a way to score on these tougher golf courses, those long par fours, and anyways, the results kind of speak for themselves at Farmers. I also hit Justin Rose when he won this back in 2019 or
That'll
whatever.
work.
So I have some good vibes with
That
Rose
always
here. I had
helps.
to give him another shot.
I know how
Yeah.
that feels. Yes. All right. Then you went with a couple other long shots, Luke List and Pendrith. Pendrith has only played here twice. He does have a top 20. List has a win, as we mentioned, just a couple of years ago in 2022.
Yeah, I know List was, a longer shot when he won here, but it's not a shock that he won here because it's a perfect fit for his game. He's an excellent driver. He is 4th best in this field, strokes gained off the tee over the last 12 months. He's 9th in driving distance, so he hits it a long ways. He's 20th in this field in strokes gained approach, and that includes he's 5th best in this field in proximity from 200 plus yards, which there are a lot of long irons that you're going to hit on this golf course, and List is excellent on those type of shots. And he comes into this week hitting it well. He won Sanderson Farms in October. He's gained off the tee in 5 of his last 6 events. He's gained on approach in 5 straight events. So why not? I think Luke List could definitely win this tournament again.
All right. And then our super long shots, and they've gone up higher since yesterday. And that's my last pick is Sam Ryder. And Ryder, we talked about him as a player that we both agree could be ready to have a nice win at some point this year. And so this could be a good week, even though, again, it's going to be hard with the big boys. But in 2 of his last 3 appearances, 2 top 10s, including 4th last year. So, matter of fact, he's made 10 straight cuts with 4 top 15s and 2 top 10s. So I think that's just too good for me to not pass up this week. And then you went with Sam Stevens, and he has climbed all the way to 250 to 1. And he played last year here for the first time and finished a very solid 13th.
So I think I talked about Stevens. Was it last week when we talked about long shots we might be on this season?
Yes.
And I said you want to play Sam Stevens on long golf courses because he is 13th in this field in driving distance. He's 16th best in this field off the tee. And get this, I looked at in this field who's been the best on courses over 7,400 yards over the last 12 months. Sam Stevens is first on that list. He's been the best player in this field. Right behind him are Sung Jae Im, Xander, Sahith Theegala, Max Homa, Patrick Cantlay. But Sam Stevens is first on that list. So he's just good on long golf courses. So I think he's definitely worth a shot this week.
Yeah, matter of fact, we went over our long shots on last week's show. And I believe, if I'm looking at it here, I believe they're all playing this week. So you had Higo, Norman, Smalley, and Stevens. And I have Hostler, Yeager, Coles, and Rogers. So, all right, now
Norman's worth considering this week too. I think he's a long hitter.
Yeah, I tell you what, let's just go over the rest of the field of notables, and we'll start at the top because some of these players are coming back over from Europe, including Nikolai Højgaard. So we're finally going to see Nikolai Højgaard. So he's playing. Adrian Maronk is playing. So we're going to start seeing these PGA Tour guys for the first time get their feet wet, and it'll be interesting to see exactly how they do. Matter of fact, and odds wise, you got Højgaard's at 40 to 1, Maronk's at 50 to 1, and we could also add in, because again, I want to make sure I don't butcher these names. But I spent a lot of time trying to make sure that we get these pronunciations correct. But where is he? Where's this? Oh, here he is. Rio Hisasuni is the 2023 European Rookie Tour of the Year. He's playing this week, and he actually has been playing some pretty good golf as well. So here are some kids to keep an eye on that will be playing here this week. And then also, I got to talk about Zalatoris and Berger. They're both 50 to 1. Very impressed with the way that they played last week. I don't care how bad, easy the golf course is, considering the layoff and the injuries. It was really impressive. Impressed me enough too that I actually all of a sudden I'm like, you know what? I mean, we're seeing some really crazy things happen so far this year. Maybe Will Zalatoris can actually be in the running this week. I don't know. We'll see. That's the next trick. How do you do back to back? See, that's the other thing. 1 week, 1 round to 2 rounds. Every step, as far as new that they haven't been involved with, but Zalatoris really usually plays well at this golf course.
I think just the fact that they're both playing again for a second consecutive week bodes well that they're feeling healthy enough to do that. I think, Will has, I think, gotten better each of these last few events. Berger, couldn't believe how well he played in his first event in 18 months or whatever it was. I'm not going to quite get to those guys. I don't think they're quite there yet where they're ready to win.
Yeah.
If I was going to bet one of them, it'd be Will, because this is a course I think. I mean, Zalatoris lost in the playoff to Luke List a few years ago.
Yeah,
I think
that was the one he should have won.
I think Zalatoris will win here at some point in his career. Assuming good health. I don't think he's quite ready yet, but I think he's not far off. Same goes for Berger.
And then other notables, Keith Mitchell was once again, he did it last year. I think he did it the year before that. He seems to get off to now really good starts as far as the year is concerned. So keep an eye on him. But the only reason is because of his hot start. He's terrible here on this golf course. But other than that, he's starting to play well. So maybe not this week, but just keep an eye on him. If he's Christian, as I said, went with him. He's also 70-1. Other guys to keep an eye on, maybe that we should. Alex Smalley, as I mentioned, on your side, he's 100-1. Let's see, who else were you looking at as far as some other potential long shot? By the way, Patrick Rogers almost made my list as a long shot. 24th at Sony, 14th at Century. He has 2 top 10s and 8 appearances. So I was looking at Patrick Rogers, who now is at 60-1. But what about you?
Yeah, Austin Eckert was the other guy I looked at as a longer shot. I think he might still be available at like 130, 150,
130-1.
Yeah, was in the mix. What was it at Sony? Was he in the mix recently? Yeah, I mean, he ended up coming 42nd at Sony, but he was in the mix. Eckert he was 25th last week at Amex, so not a bad showing. And he does a lot of things well that I'm looking for this week. He's a good long iron player. He scores pretty well on those long par 4. So he feels like a guy who's going to win this year potentially. Now it would be a big ask because I don't even know. Is he? I think he's played here before, but hasn't had much success.
Who's that?
I did not end up. Austin Eckert.
Oh, Eckert.
Yeah, he's played here the past 2 years, and missed the cut both of them, which is why I did not get to him. But he's definitely someone I considered.
Yeah, this isn't one of those events that you have like 15 guys in the that make the first cut. It's like it's the first cut's really small, and then you have a few other guys that but it's not. There's not a lot of guys that have a lot of great history here, so it's not. So it makes it a little easier to handicap because it's just unless you got some other again. I don't really care about how he plays at this golf course. I care more about other stats or other, maybe he's playing well at this point in time. Ben Griffin's been an interesting long shot. Maybe we should be keeping an eye on sometime. Maybe he's ready to win. He's got 2 top 10s in his last 3, 9th last week. And I'm not talking necessarily this week because, again, Taylor Moore, I think, is getting 130-1, which I think is crazy. We know how talented he is. He was 11th here last year. So a little bit surprised you're getting 130-1 with Tyler Moore. By the way, I mentioned Hisasuni. He's made 10 straight cuts worldwide with 9 top 30s, 4 top 10s. He won in France last September, and that's when he was 166th in the world. He's now 72nd. So that's why we mentioned him. Let's see. Michael Kim is now 100th in the world. Don't forget he won the John Deere back in 2018. But his previous high ranking was 283. That was the win in 2018. But he's now down to 100th. So he is starting to play better golf. He's got 4 top 25s in his last 6 with 1 top 5, 6th last week. Not saying to take him this week, but anyway, Scott Stallings back in 2015 and 2014 went back-to-back win, playoff loss to Jason Day. So that's crazy for Scott Stallings. But since then, no top 25s in his last 7 at this golf course. But he did have a hell of a 2-year run here, that's for sure.